Good morning. Oh my God, what a day! What a day to be at the port. What a day to be outside. It's so beautiful. The sun is out. Happy Earth Month. I am Debbie Raffel. I am the director of the Department of Environment. And this is the most fabulous and gorgeous place to be in this moment in time. It's very fitting to be at the waterfront, of course, in Earth Month. Who needs a better reminder of the importance of protecting our environment and protecting this planet? We're here today to announce another step forward in our environmental stewardship journey, our journey towards taking bold climate action to preserve this planet for us and for future generations. Clearly, and there's the nice sound. Clearly, to address our climate needs, we're going to have to tackle the transportation sector. In San Francisco, the transportation sector accounts for about 50% of our emissions, a huge part. This is a city that believes in leading by example, and our transit fleet is one of the cleanest in the nation. And part of that cleanliness, if you will, has to do with fuel switching, where we're getting off of diesel, of dirty diesel, and replacing it with renewable fuels. We are electrifying when we can, and we're using renewable fuels when the technology hasn't quite caught up with us yet to allow us to get off of gasoline and diesel altogether. So these renewable fuels provide an important bridge. They allow us to take action using existing equipment and existing technologies. The San Francisco Department of Environment, the mayor's office, the port, and all of our community stakeholders with us today have been working hard to introduce renewable fuels into this new form of transportation. So I'm excited today to introduce to you Mr. Mayor Mark Farrell, who will be talking about and making the announcement that we are all here to listen to. So Mayor Farrell.
Thank you, Debbie. And it's great to be here today and love the interaction that we're seeing, the real life on our waterfront behind us. So thanks for the introduction, Debbie, and I want to thank everyone for coming out today for this announcement. You know, we're all here because we care very deeply about our city of San Francisco, and we care very deeply about our environment here in the city of San Francisco. And I know that we all have concerns about the federal leadership or lack of federal leadership on environmental issues right now coming out of Washington, D.C. The head of our EPA seems to be more concerned about flying first class and supporting the coal industry than really pushing environmental policies forward that will have a positive impact in our communities. And while they continue to stick their head in the sand in terms of climate change in Washington, D.C., San Francisco is once again stepping forward as a leader in our country for the environment. Thanks to our innovative practices here in our city, we are well on our way of meeting our 50% renewable power goal by 2020 and 100% goal by 2030. We are pursuing these initiatives to debunk the myth that is continuing now to come out of Washington, D.C., that we cannot have a strong environment and a strong economy at the same time. In San Francisco, we are proving them wrong every single day. In San Francisco, we have reduced greenhouse gas emissions by 28%. At the same time, our population has grown by 19%, and our GDP has grown by over 75% in the city of San Francisco. We are proving Washington, D.C., we are proving the skeptics wrong. I'm here to say, as mayor of the city of San Francisco, that I am convinced that not only the city of San Francisco, but our world can coexist by having strong environmental policies and a strong economy at the same time. They go together. This is called climate leadership. This is what San Francisco is all about. And today we are excited to announce the next step in that journey as a city of San Francisco. So today we are announcing the transition of the San Francisco Bay Area water fleet to 100% renewable diesel. We are taking this bold step, and when we do, we will become the first region in the entire country to achieve this goal. Let me repeat that. Once again, in the city of San Francisco, we will be the first in the country to lead on the environment. It will help reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by another 60% on the water and cut back on the diesel pollutants that affect our air. 4 of the Bay Area's ferry providers will be making the switch to diesel here in 2018 and 2019, including our fire department, which will make the transition this year in the city of San Francisco. I do want to thank all the ferry providers for joining with the city of San Francisco to make this happen. This does not happen alone. It takes strong partnerships. I want to thank our fire department, in particular Chief Hayes White and all the other firefighters that are here today for their critical leadership on this issue. I want to thank Debbie from our Department of the Environment, Elaine Forbes and her staff at the port. I want to give special thanks to our late Mayor Ed Lee, who was a leader on this issue and started this dialogue years ago. Tyrone Jew, who really pushed this forward, I know has been at the forefront of this issue for a long time. You know, we're going to be the first in the nation to make this change, but we will not be the last. This is just the beginning, and San Francisco, once again, is stepping forward as a leader in the country on the environment, and it's something that we should all be very, very proud of. Our city deserves it, our country deserves it, and our world deserves it. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Mayor Farrell. Our country deserves it, our city deserves it, our planet deserves it, our world deserves it. Indeed. So transitioning a water fleet demonstrates what's possible when public and private sectors work together. And as the mayor said, this did not happen overnight or by accident. This transition happened because we put our heads together and collectively we problem solved and we brainstormed and we figured out what was the missing information, what do we need to have happen to make this change? Because no one had done it before. We couldn't even look to Europe as a model because we were the first. And I would like to recognize some of those leaders, those partners who made this possible. From our regulatory agencies, the Environmental Protection Agency, the California Air Resources Board, and the Water Emergency Transportation Authority, our local ferry and water transit operators, Red White Fleet, Blue and Gold Fleet, Golden Gate Ferry, Hornblower and Alcatraz Cruises, to the marine engine manufacturers, MTU. They had to figure out, would this renewable product work in their ferries? And to our own San Francisco Fire Department, which has a fireboat fleet, and one of them is behind us, and hopefully we will be enjoying a demonstration of their prowess today. I'd also like to thank the leadership and cooperation of our Commission on the Environment. Commissioner Eddie On is here today to encourage us on and to make sure that San Francisco continues in a leadership moment. And of course, the real leader in all this, the mother of the leaders, is our port director, Elaine Forbes. I get to say that as a woman. She leads with courage. She's a role model for all of us, and she's a resource for cities and ports all around the world. Under her leadership, the port is an environmental champion, from shoreside power to 100% greenhouse gas-free energy procurement to solarizing port buildings. Elaine is fearless and determined, and this could not happen without her support. So let's welcome Elaine Forbes, Port Director.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for that absolutely amazing introduction. I'm quite shy now about that. And thank you so much, Mayor Farrell, for your commitment to climate change and to our city's waterfront. Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to our world-renowned waterfront. This is a spectacular resource. The San Francisco Bay is so pristine and so defining for our city. And our ferry operator tenants, along with the city and the port, are at the forefront of environmental stewardship. I'm very proud to say that. I'm speaking today on behalf of port staff and the Port Commission. We have Port Commissioner Leslie Katz here today. Thank you for your leadership. The port is working for our environment, as Director Raphael said. Since 2001, we have removed 300,000 square feet of dilapidated piers, improving the bay quality. We've cleaned up contaminated property at Pier 39, Fisherman's Wharf, and at Pier 70 and Mission Rock. And in those locations, we have plans to open up those properties to San Francisco and the region, further connecting people to the Bay. We have wonderful new buildings that are LEED certified, and we have an eco center at Herons Head Park, which is San Francisco's first LEED Platinum zero net energy building. We're improving air quality. We've cut emissions from our maritime operations by more than half. We provide zero emissions hydropower to our cruise ships at Pier 27 and to our large government and commercial ships at Pier 70. And with this announcement today, we're making our air and water healthier for everyone. And I want to talk about how this initiative started. Mayor Farrell mentioned our late Mayor Lee. Back in July, on July 21st, 2016, we toured our late mayor by boat to the proposed site for our Mission Bay ferry landing at Pier 16. On that boat ride, Mayor Lee made the connection, if city-owned industrial equipment and our fleet can transfer to renewable diesel, could the ferries too? He had a big vision for this waterfront and for growth in our water transportation and linked this vision to environmental stewardship. His point person, Tyrone Jude, got on the job, teamed up with my point person, Rich Berman, and with key leadership and staff support from our Department of the Environment. But of course, we couldn't do it alone. It was our ferry providers that stepped up and agreed to make this change. So now, because of their partnership, we'll have cleaner water and air for everyone in San Francisco, and we are becoming leaders in alternative fuels for maritime transport at the exact time that our ferry network is growing and we have bigger ridership. And I see Nina Reynolds, who runs WIDA, here in the crowd. It's such a great partnership to see more people on the bay, more people in ferries, and knowing they're going to be cleaner. We are so grateful to our late mayor for his call to action and for our city staff and ferry operators that saw his vision through. And it will not stop here. We will be advancing other environmental initiatives, and we will be rebuilding this harbor to keep it safe, environmentally secure, and moving on into future generations. This is a world-renowned waterfront. It's a very special place, and we aim to keep it that way. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Elaine, and thank you to Port Commission staff and Port Commissioners and Port staff who have been such champions of this. So as Elaine said, we can't do this alone. We might have an idea, we might see a possibility, a window of opportunity, but we need the ferry operators to step up. And the person behind me was incredible. He said, yes, we will try this. Yes, we will do this, and I will make sure it happens. We are incredibly lucky to have such forward-thinking, environmentally committed water transit operators in San Francisco. The red and white fleet exemplifies that idea of can-do, of why not? Why not here? And Tom Escher, he isn't just talking about renewable diesel. His vision is for truly zero-emission ferries, hybrid electric, hydrogen fuel cells, whatever he can do to push the envelope to make ferry ridership part of the equation to heal the planet. So let us welcome our champion, Tom Escher, to talk for a moment.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure who you were talking about, but one of the things is I don't believe in fake news. So, Mr. Mayor, I have to say that the red and white fleet has been using renewable diesel since last year. And we've had no operational problems. And this has been a long step for the red and white fleet. This is another step in our evolution to zero pollution. And the next step for us is in August of this year, we're going to have the Anhydra, which is a hybrid electric ferry boat coming here, the largest in the U.S. flag, 700 passengers. She will be here in August, and in 2019, she's going to be completely electric. No pollution on the boat, completely electric. In 2020, we're going to have a hydrogen fuel cell boat, which is here, zero pollution. Now, all these things I'm talking about, you can buy online at Amazon. So all we're doing is putting the pieces together, and because we believe in zero pollution. Our board has said we have to be zero pollution by 2025 for all of our boats, and we will make that if not sooner. Why are we doing this, you're going to ask? All of this is proven technology. There's nothing new here. We're like a chef. We're making a stew. All of this is going to give us a reasonable business return. And the most important to me is nobody in the audience who's really going to be affected by this is here. This is your children and your grandchildren. That's what we're looking for. We can't kick the can down the road anymore when you can buy all this stuff online at Amazon. It is insanity. So, from a point of view, I'd like to thank the mayor. Mayor Lee started this. We have a new mayor now. He's continuing it. The Department of Environment, the Port of San Francisco, Elaine Forbes, Mike Martin, Rich Bierman, and all sorts of other people who I haven't mentioned. Nesty is the provider of the renewable diesel, who's great, and also Aaron Peskin, our supervisor. One last comment I'd like to make is our vessel, the Zalathus, is there. And if you don't know what a Zalathus is, you should look it up on Google. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The number one Google search this evening.
I have no idea what Zalathus means, so that is my homework. Wow. Thank you, Tom. And I think what you heard there is that pioneering spirit, that why not? Woo! That's why you keep things in notebooks. All right. So, Tom talked about the long vision, getting to zero emission boats and ferries. Just with this one action of moving towards renewable diesel from traditional diesel from dinosaur bones, we're going to be able to reduce 22,000 metric tons of greenhouse gases. This is a significant action that can be done today. I would like to encourage everyone, the next time you are going to Oakland or Alameda or coming into the city, ride in one of our wonderful ferries. You'll get the best view of the bay, the best view of our city, and you'll be doing it knowing that you're healing the planet at the same time. I want to close by sharing one of my favorite talking points, which is that I believe that the world is run by those who show up, and that every person out there today is showing up to heal the planet and showing up to make a difference. And this is done when government works with the private sector in close partnership. My team, Suzanne Lucen and Zach Thompson, as well as Rich Berman and Tyrone Jew, those are civil servants who lead with their hearts as well as their minds. It's because of their incredible work with the ferry operators, with our leaders, elected and not, and with the regulatory agencies that we're all able to do this together. So with that, I am hopeful that behind me will be something spectacular and worth looking at besides the, what is it, Zalathus.
It's called the Zalathus, and if you look at the spelling, you can Google it and then let me know what it means, okay?
That's my homework, Zalathus. All right. Oh, there we go. Soon to be operated on renewable diesel. The fireboat, it's right now, excuse me. We don't want fake news. Right now, at this moment, the fire department has adopted renewable diesel, and that boat is leading the world right now in environmental stewardship. Thank you, fire department.